I'm not scared of threats from a housewife like you who doesn't work and has no parents. You can't do anything with a pile of trash because it's just garbage. Now I understand how you feel. I'm moving out of this house. So now you'll be homeless. Good luck with that. This is a good chance for Larry to leave too. Let's team up to clean up the mess and get rid of the trash. They went to Larry's room and told him to pack up and leave. I was planning to leave on my own, but I didn't expect Larry to get kicked out too. My name is Lauren. I'm 29 years old and I'm a housewife. I recently married a man named David, who's 33 years old, 4 years older than me. At first, I thought he was mature and calm like an older man, especially because he often talked about his mother. I thought he was a good man and cared about his family. But after we got married, I saw my husband's true personality. On our wedding day, my mother-in-law was really kind to me, and I thought we would have a happy marriage. After we got married, my husband suggested we live with his mom because his dad had passed away a few years before. He said he wanted to take care of his mom. I trusted my mother-in-law, so I agreed to move in with her. But everything changed as soon as we got married. They started telling me things like, "Hurry up, Lauren, bring me tea, and clean the bathroom and toilet quickly." My mother-in-law would yell at me and give me orders like that. Maybe she wanted to scare me, or maybe it was because of her age. She'd call me loudly and make me do all sorts of chores. The biggest surprise was discovering I had a roommate no one had told me about. One morning, I was shocked to find a man I didn't know in the kitchen. I stood there wondering who he was. He noticed me and said, "I'm Larry, David's younger brother." He introduced himself. I had no idea David had a brother, let alone one who lived with us. Larry is 30 years old, the same age as me. I went to my mother-in-law and asked her to introduce me to my brother-in-law. She replied, "Oh, you mean Larry? Don't worry about him. He's like a reclusive ghost." I was taken aback. How could she dismiss her own son like that? She called him a ghost and said she was content with just David. She described Larry as a useless hermit who only went out for shopping and otherwise stayed at home. Her words shocked me. I felt let down by my mother-in-law and couldn't believe how much she had changed since our wedding. It was heartbreaking to see her treat her own son unfairly. Being an only child with no siblings, I couldn't relate to having a brother. If my own mother said such things about me or ignored me, I would be devastated. My parents have passed away, and I envy families who are alive and close-knit. I had hoped that at least parents and children could have good relationships. I asked my husband about Larry when he came home from work. I hoped maybe the brothers could get along, but my husband was distant. He said, "Just leave him be, pretend he's not there. He won't bother you." He said it like it didn't matter, as if he had forgotten to mention it. I was disappointed to hear him refer to his own brother as a ghost. My husband seemed disconnected from his family, just tied to his mother. After finishing my chores for the day, I went upstairs, feeling regretful about my marriage. That's when I ran into Larry, who was heading to the bathroom. "You're married to my brother, aren't you?" Larry said to me. "Yeah, what's wrong?" I replied. "I'm sorry, forget I said anything. But I don't say things lightly. You should consider leaving," he said. "What?" I asked, confused. "I'm sorry, but I think you should get a divorce," he said. I felt offended and confused by how my husband and mother-in-law were behaving. I married my husband because I loved him, so it was shocking that Larry would suggest divorce after just one day. "It's none of your business. I can handle it," I told him. "I'm sorry about that. I tend to be blunt." Larry apologized, bowing his head. His apology seemed sincere, but I wasn't sure. Maybe he was trying to be polite or genuinely concerned. While I was thinking about this, Larry excused himself and went to his room. My mother-in-law and husband described Larry as a strange recluse, but to me he seemed like a decent person who deserved respect. The next morning, as I set breakfast on the table, Larry came down to get a drink. "Good morning, Larry. Why don't you join us for breakfast?" I offered. "Good morning, Lauren. Thank you for inviting me," Larry replied, casting a glance at his mother. "I'm not eating breakfast with him. Just get the breakfast done," she yelled at me. "It's okay," Larry said quickly and returned to his room. I wanted to apologize for my strong words from yesterday, but I couldn't bring myself to do it. "Hey, all you need to do is the housework. Don't do anything unnecessary, okay?" My mother-in-law gave me a stern glare. I was taken aback by her harsh tone. As the new bride, I hadn't expected to be treated like this. My husband's behavior towards me also changed drastically. What the heck? Curry again today? You should have told me beforehand, he shouted. I already had curry for lunch. Why didn't you call me to say you wanted something else? I stayed quiet. He kept yelling, you're not even apologizing. Who do you think you are? Your job is to do the housework, so make sure you understand that. I was shocked and remained silent. David didn't love me. He just wanted a housekeeper. It's awful. How could he be so cruel? I whispered to myself in disbelief. Their calm voices showed they didn't care about me. They just wanted to make themselves comfortable. They were using me. Seeing them laughing and watching TV in the living room, I quietly went upstairs. As soon as I reached my room, tears started streaming down my face. Then, a gentle hand offered me a handkerchief. I still think you should leave, said a familiar voice. I looked up, and it was Larry. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, I managed to say between sobs. I wiped my tears quickly. I'm sorry I used your handkerchief. No, I gave it to you because I wanted you to use it, Larry replied kindly. I overheard what my brother and mother said. I knew it. They're the worst, he continued. When I asked Larry what he meant by I knew it, he confided that he had been in a similar situation before. Curious, I pressed for details. Larry explained that David had promised to marry another woman previously, but just like with me, his mother and David's mistreatment had driven her away shortly before the wedding. Hearing Larry's story brought some relief, showing me that my husband and mother-in-law had acted nice only to avoid scaring away the bride before marriage. I felt trapped and hopeless. How could I have trusted them? But I had no other options. As just a housewife, I couldn't get a part-time job, move out, or rent another place. I didn't know what to do except cry. Then Larry suggested, if we keep talking here, it might raise suspicions. Let's meet at a coffee shop next time, if you'd like. He handed me a piece of paper with his contact information and went back to his room. Determined to leave this house, I knew my struggle for survival was just beginning. I told my mother-in-law I was going to the city office and then to the supermarket. She warned me not to leave any chores undone. So I made sure everything was perfect before leaving. She grumbled about not accepting any excuses if I was late for dinner. Pretending to agree, I headed to the coffee shop where Larry and I had arranged to meet. I told Larry that my parents had passed away, so I couldn't rely on them anymore. I had canceled the house I was renting and quit my job. I told him I needed to start all over again. It's tough to move out of the house in this situation, especially with the work that keeps me tied up with my mother-in-law and husband from early in the morning until late at night. Larry then asked me, Lauren, can you draw? Huh? What do you mean? I replied, confused. Oh, I see, so can you? Yes, well, I went to art school before, I said. Really? That's great, he exclaimed. Yes, but how? I asked. Just in time, another manga artist is looking for an assistant. You can do it remotely, Larry said. But I don't have a computer right now, I responded. I'll lend you my computer that I'm not using right now, Larry said kindly. Really? Thank you so much. But why do you have an extra computer? What do you do for a living? I asked curiously. That's nice of you to ask. You don't think I'm just a recluse, do you? No, you speak politely and look well put together, so I don't think that at all. Do you work from home? I replied. Yes, actually, I'm an engineer, Larry said. An engineer? I had no idea. I didn't realize you were a business owner, I exclaimed. Yes, I used to work for a company, but now I have my own business. Running things independently works better for me. We also have web designers on staff. It's a small team, so we handle everything remotely, he explained. I see, that explains why you're always at home. But your mother and David said you're just idle at home. Haven't you told them the truth? I asked. I don't see any benefit in telling those two, Larry replied. Fair enough. But if you're such a capable manager, why don't you leave that house? I wondered. Then, for the first time, Larry shared his thoughts with me. Let's not focus on me. I need to introduce you to the manga artist, he said. Larry immediately made a phone call, and soon a remote interview was scheduled for me. I was set to interview with a manga artist on Wednesday. My mother-in-law usually had lessons during that time, followed by outings with other participants, so I could manage the remote interview then. It seemed I made a good impression because I was hired on the spot. They agreed to send the hiring documents addressed to Larry, considering my situation. Next, we needed to find a place for me to stay. I have a friend who works at a real estate agency. He can help you find a good deal, Larry said. Who is this guy? He seems to have connections, I remarked. Our search for a new place went smoothly, and we signed a lease for a place that suited my needs. Just when things were starting to fall into place, I had an argument with my husband one day. Hey, where's dinner? My husband woke me up while I was sleeping in our bedroom. He seemed a bit drunk, like he had just come home from drinking. Dinner? It's midnight. Besides, you said you didn't want to eat because you were going out for drinks, I replied. Shut up. The king is home, and you don't even get up to greet him. And now you say you didn't make dinner. You're a useless wife. His words made me really angry. Do you have any idea how hard I've been working with your mother for you? How can you act so superior to me? I shot back. That's because you're my wife. A wife should support her husband, and your job is to take care of the house. If you can't do your chores, don't argue with me. A wife who can't handle the housework is worthless, my husband said, just as I heard the door open. My mother-in-law left in an awkward way. You're just like trash. Larry is also trash, and this place looks like a dump, my husband sneered, with my mother-in-law agreeing. Yes, let's get rid of this oversized trash, he added. What did you just say? So, I asked him directly. He opened a drawer and pulled out a piece of paper. This is what I mean. It's divorce papers. You're no longer useful to me. I'm going to find another wife who can replace you. That's why I'm divorcing you. Get out of my house, you disgrace. You think a wife is just a servant. The best wife is one who acts like a housekeeper. You shouldn't speak like that. One day, you might regret it, I replied calmly. What are you going to do about it? I'm not scared of any threats from a housewife like you, with no job and no parents, he laughed. My husband and mother-in-law joined in. Exactly, you're useless. You can't do anything about it because you're just trash. Well, now I understand how you truly feel. I'm leaving this house. I said that and signed the divorce papers. Then I left. I packed my things, placing the divorce papers in my bag. My mother-in-law and husband watched with smirks on their faces. Now you're homeless. What are you going to do? It's none of our concern anymore. Good luck, homeless lady. Oh, and as for Larry, it's a good opportunity for him to leave too. Yeah, let's clean house and make this place bigger and more comfortable once he's gone. My husband and mother-in-law were already discussing their plans after kicking us out. Then they went to Larry's room and told him to pack his things and leave. I had already decided to leave, but I hadn't expected them to kick out Larry too. I felt some regret for letting my emotions get the best of me and fighting with my husband. I'm sorry, Larry. This is my fault, I said. No need to apologize, Larry replied. I've realized I can't live with them anymore. Plus, I have other interests. Maybe it's fortunate we had that argument, he smiled. It seemed Larry wasn't upset about leaving, which eased my mind a little. 5 days later, on Wednesday, while my mother-in-law was out of town, Larry and I called a moving company and left. After finishing our move, my mother-in-law called my new place. Don't worry, we're already gone, I assured her. Larry came with you, right? She asked. Yes, we moved out together. I'm relieved I won't have to see you two anymore, she said happily before hanging up. But what she didn't know was that Larry and I had been planning our revenge. With Larry's help, I managed to move out and start a new life just in time. I received a substantial settlement from my husband in the divorce. Larry had recorded what my husband and mother-in-law said during our fight, which was considered harassment and helped prove their fault in the divorce. This enabled me to claim a significant amount of money as retribution against my husband. Larry's friend, a lawyer, assisted me in securing alimony. My husband was shocked but ultimately accepted the settlement. I was deeply grateful to Larry for his support and decided not to dwell on it further. A few days later, I received numerous phone calls from my ex-mother-in-law. It felt like a nightmare come true. Realizing I had forgotten to block her number, I reluctantly answered the phone. Lauren, where are you? She demanded. There's no way I'm telling you that. We're strangers now, I replied firmly. Please don't say that, she pleaded. I'm calling because, where is Larry? She asked. Huh? Why are you asking about Larry? I responded. I've been trying to reach him, but I can't get in touch anymore, she explained. That's too bad. Maybe he doesn't want to talk to you anymore, I retorted, trying to provoke her. Then someone else grabbed the phone. Don't play games. You moved out together. You must know where he is, they insisted. You're all ridiculous. I knew exactly where Larry was, but I wasn't about to tell them. I honestly don't know. You'll have to find him on your own, I replied. Where are you anyway? You have no home, job, or place to go. If you're willing to beg, maybe I'll let you return, but only as my housekeeper, she sneered. I'm not coming back to you. I have a job and a place to live. I'm moving on, I shot back. That's a lie, she yelled. My ex-husband was shocked, not knowing I could settle everything so quickly. I didn't bother correcting him. Please do not contact me again. If you call or come near me, I'll call the police, I declared firmly, hanging up. I promptly blocked my ex-mother-in-law's number, having already blocked my ex-husband's. They seemed panicked, realizing something important. They thought my father-in-law had left them a large inheritance, but it turned out that Larry had been regularly sending money to his mother's account. My mother-in-law had always seen Larry as lazy and without a job, so she couldn't believe it when the bank stopped the monthly transfers after he was kicked out. It was only then that they realized who had been supporting them financially, but by that point, it was too late. Larry had already cut ties with his mother and brother. My ex-husband couldn't afford alimony without the money from Larry, and my ex-mother-in-law relied on those monthly transfers. Now that the money had stopped, she was facing financial trouble. They both got what they deserved, and I don't feel sorry for them at all. By the way, Larry bought a nice apartment in New York and is living comfortably there. Why was he so well off? Why did he send money to his parents all those years? It was because he made a promise to his father. Unlike his mother, Larry's father loved him deeply. Despite the mistreatment from his mother and brother, Larry stayed true to his father's wishes. His father had once told Larry, even if you don't always get along with your mother and brother, they're still family to me. Please take care of them after I'm gone. Honoring this promise, despite facing mistreatment, Larry quietly sent money to support his mother and brother. It's heartbreaking that they kicked out such a kind-hearted person like Larry without knowing the truth. I met Larry once after we moved out. He explained his commitment to his father's wishes, and I fully understood and respected his decision. He was my savior after the betrayal by my husband, and I consider him a significant person in my life. I wish him all the happiness. 2 years later, Larry proposed to me. He asked for my hand in marriage, but that's a story for another time. It's unfortunate how someone kind can change so drastically after marriage. It's like a marriage scam, isn't it? Fortunately, my brother-in-law is a dependable person, and now I'm happily married to him. Despite the challenges, I've found peace and happiness. I hope these happy days continue. Thank you for following along until the end. If you enjoyed this story, please subscribe to our channel. See you in the next video.